Okay, so it's time to step out of universe once again. This time we have something extremely exciting to talk about. Back in November, we received an announcement for a brand new novel coming on the 26th of July 2022. The novel is titled Alien Inferno's Fall. Not only are we getting a brand new Alien novel, but Inferno's Fall is actually being co-written by a friend of the channel and personal friend of mine, Clara Sharia, alongside veteran author Pippa Ballantyne. The novel is, in addition, going to ship with a brand new cinematic scenario from the team at Free League Publishing, as part of their multiple award-winning Alien the RPG. Alien Inferno's Fall will be one of 3 novels in a partnership between Titan Books and Free League Publishing to tell an interconnected, cross-media story of the likes that we have never really seen in the Alien universe before. But let's start from the beginning with this novel and explore everything I think that we're going to see within it. First of all, we should probably start with the novel's plot synopsis and work our way forward from there. The synopsis reads, a gargantuan horseshoe-shaped ship appears over the mining planet of Shanman, unleashing a black rain of death that creates xenomorph-like monsters worse than the darkest of nightmares. As war breaks out amongst the colonies, a huge ship appears over the UPP mining planet Shanman, unleashing a black rain of death that yields hideous transformations. Rescue is too far away, and the colonists' only hope appears in the form of the vessel the Righteous Fury. It carries the Jackals, an elite mix of former colonial marines and Royal Marine commandos. Led by Zula Hendricks, the Jackals seek to rescue the few survivors from the depths of the planet, but have they arrived in time? Okay, so we get a mention of a vessel, a horseshoe-shaped ship, which is obviously leading us to the conclusion that this vessel is engineer in origin. But while it might be engineer in origin, that's not necessarily or even likely related to who is piloting the craft. I think that this vessel is directly related to the enigmatic group that has made numerous appearances now in Alien the RPG and its stories and scenarios, namely the Destroyer of Worlds expansion, and throughout the events depicted in the Alien Colonial Marines Operations Manual. This group is simply known as the Border Bombers, responsible for attacks across the border regions of the Middle Heavens, utilising the Engineer's genetic accelerant. Their MO has been largely to attack a world or colony if they are known to have been utilising xenomorph materials in study or practice. We currently know nothing about the identity of these individuals and have no idea if they are human, synthetic, engineers, or something else entirely. Through the synopsis, we can assume that these border bombers, if that is who they are, have made another attack. This time on the mining planet of Shanman, raining black hellish rain down upon it, like what we saw in the events of Alien Covenant. And like with Covenant, we can assume that the effects of this attack were devastating, likely creating anathemas, abominations, and other horrific mutants. One creature that we know that has been generated is the Neomorphs. Seen in Covenant and explained in the RPG, Neomorphs' development, or the moat development that begins their life cycle and appearance within a habitat, is directly connected to the Engineer's accelerant. The Neomorph basically spawned from it, and we know that these creatures will play a part in the story from the cover art of the novel, which depicts Zula Hendricks and what I'm hoping is Olivia Shipp fighting off a swarm of them. Despite the devastation, it seems a small contingent of colonists survived the bombing, and are now seeking aid from the craft known as the Righteous Fury, and its complement of Royal Marine Commandos and Colonial Marines, that call themselves the Jackals. To my great excitement, the Jackals are led by none other than Zula Hendricks. Zula is easily one of my favourite EU characters from the Alien franchise. Every time I find out she's popping up in another story, I get goosebumps going. Zula will lead the charge to rescue the remaining survivors of Shanman from the depths of the planet, but their mission may be harder than what they can fathom. If this novel does really give us Zula Hendrix and an Olivia Ship team up, I'll be very excited to say the least. They are two of the top tiered xenomorph hunters currently in the Alien EU, and I can't wait to potentially get them operating in the field together. A team of ultimate badasses. I'm also excited to see if we get a good amount of Australian and New Zealander characters within the novel, featured as jackals. Considering Clara is an Australian and Pip Ballantyne is from New Zealand, it would be amazing to see some Aussie references, banter, and humour mixed into the story. Something that we've never really seen in the Alien universe, with the exception of maybe like Dick Mackey from Alien: The Cold Forge. Given the timeline of the novel, we could see some story build to the events that we see in Alien's Fire Team with Olivia Ship, if she is directly involved in this story, as she is directly involved in the Alien's Fire Team story, being a colonel by this time. This is hinging on the hope that the character seen with Zula on the novel's cover is indeed Olivia and not some other new character or another character that we already know. The name of the colony, Shanmen, is also an interesting one. Shanmen has a meaning in Chinese culture and is directly connected to the Buddhist beliefs and practices of reaching enlightenment. Shanmen itself can mean multiple things, such as mountain gate or three gates. Each meaning refers to a separate but similar ideas of how to reach a new state of transcendence, knowledge, or understanding. My mind wants to go instantly to an engineered temple, or even engineered juggernauts, which themselves feature the three gateway entrance to their form. Another part of these legends refers to the story of the Longman myth. Longman, otherwise known as the Dragon Gate, is located above a great waterfall, cascading from a legendary mountain. The legend basically states that the powerful waterfall acts to keep the carp in the region downstream, unable to match the power of the waterfall or escape to the waters above. However, if a carp is brave, bold, and powerful enough to fight the seemingly insurmountable task of climbing the waterfall, then once reaching the Longman, the carp is morphed into a great and powerful dragon. A new body to match the beast from within. This legend draws the obvious motif to that of the transformations surrounding the xenomorphs and other creatures related to the engineer's genetic accelerant. How this relates to the planet or its residents is currently beyond me, but perhaps we may explore something on this planet that is more mystical in origin, something rarely seen in the Alien universe. While Inferno's Fall is a standalone story, it is at least in some way connected to the events of Alien's Colony War and the preceding novel, Alien: Enemy of My Enemy. We currently know little about Enemy of My Enemy, however we do know a decent amount of what's going on in Colony War. It's likely that these two novels are going to share a lot of similarities, or at least a common plot thread, due to a couple of things noted within the plot synopsis for each. Or more so, a couple of characters noted within the plot synopsis. I wanted to quickly go over Colony War's plot synopsis quickly in order to draw attention to some important details I noticed between the two novels. The Colony War plot synopsis reads: Colony War. Political conflicts on Earth erupt into open hostilities between their colonies in space, with xenomorphs as the ultimate weapon. Political tensions boil over on Earth, spreading out into the outer fringes of known space, as the UK colony of New Albion breaks with the Three-World Empire, when an oil drilling facility on the nearby LV-187 is destroyed and its French colonists are slaughtered, the British are blamed. Military forces arrive from the independent core systems, and combat erupts. Trapped in the middle are Cher Hunt and Chad McLaren. Cher is trying to find out who is responsible for the death of her sister, Shy Hunt, a former employee of Macallan Integrations, from the novel Alien into Cryptids. At the same time, McLaren, accompanied by the synthetic known as Davis, follows in the footsteps of his late wife, Amanda Ripley, seeking to stop the weaponization of xenomorphs, When a horde of deadly aliens overwhelm both groups, however, their only hope may lie with the Royal Marine Commandos unit known as God's Hammer. Both novels are set to be exploring a period in the alien timeline known as the Colony Wars. It's a relatively unexplored area of the Alien franchise canon timeline right now. However, with the Alien the RPG Colonial Marines Operations Manual having laid the groundwork, and now the Titan/Free League trilogy set to explore the area in greater detail, it seems that we are about to learn a whole lot more about what occurred during this time period. The Colony War takes place right after the events of the Frontier War in 2184. Colonies across the Middle Heavens who have been subjected to collateral damage from the fighting, gone without essential resources due to trade regulation breakdowns, and basically just having been hung out to dry by these governments and mega corporations having their pissing contests, have had enough. Uprisings, revolts, separatist movements, and requests for independence from these mega powers seems the only rational course for most of these worlds, left in tatters by seemingly careless and seemingly needless conflicts of the Frontier War. These Earth-central governments, though, continue to fight on the political stage, to the continuing detriment of the people of the Middle Heavens. These are the events that directly precede the Colony Wars. This is an era of rebellion across humanity's small corner of the galaxy, as political tensions on Earth spread out and affect all those worlds that surround them. And of course, as with most conflicts on the frontier of space, you can be assured that there will be a faction or two looking to cash in on the enigmatic biological terror known as the Xenomorph XX121. In Alien Colony War, we have a few characters that appear that might hold some importance to what's going on across this new semi-trilogy of novels. Cher Hunt is looking for her sister who had disappeared during the events of Alex White's novel Into Cryptids. However, more interesting is the character of Chad McLaren, who is said to be looking to follow in the footsteps of his late wife, Amanda Ripley McLaren, and halt the Xenomorph scourge from spreading across the Middle Heavens region. Chad, being the widowed husband of Amanda Ripley, tells us two things. Amanda likely passed away at some point before these events, and that Weyland-Yutani were likely telling Ellen Ripley the truth about Amanda when she awoke in 2179. But he is more than likely in league with Zula and her team that are going to be featured in Inferno's fall. Chad McLaren should know who Zula is. It's too much of a coincidence that he seems to be on the same kind of mission and have the same agenda as her. It's taking place in the exact same time period and is even in possession of a Davis Model Series android. For those that don't know, Zula has travelled with a freed Davis Model synthetic since the events of her debut show up in the comic series Aliens Defiance. Too much of this lines up for me to dismiss this as coincidence. The Davis Model synths were even decommissioned after the New Deal of 2151, meaning that there aren't many of them around anymore, which makes the chances of this Davis being a different one even less. I believe without a doubt that Hendricks and McLaren are a part of some joint effort to possibly expose the border bombers for who they truly are, to attempt to wipe out the Xenomorph scourge from across the galaxy, or to simply save the innocent colonial citizens from the wrath of gods, monsters, and CEOs.